Well, hello, my friends. Avi here. Welcome to the Power On Now channel. And some of you may know that I was on vacation for August. At least that was the idea. And this is in preparation for the plan to take a 3-month vacation next year. Now, it may seem crazy. It may seem crazy good. It may even seem irresponsible to you. And I'll admit, I went through all the same feelings. But I feel some really powerful things came out of that. One is this big vision of $100,000 in kind of a Power BI scholarship plus mentorship program for those, those who are in need, and also kind of donating to charity. So that's one. There's a Pioneer program, and there's this idea around private events. But let me back up a little bit and talk about this part, guilt, right? So I mentioned that I went through a lot of feelings like, is this the right thing to do? Am I being silly? Why am I doing this? And I shouldn't be doing this. Now, of course, I have a lot of coaching and entrepreneurship community around me, and I had a chance to discuss this both with my community and my coach. And my coach really questioned me out, and she said that how much of this hobby is coming from your earlier conditioning. And yeah, I had worked 15 plus years in corporate America, and yeah, you're conditioned, you kind of slog, and you work hard, and that's how you kind of climb the ladder. Working hard is the way to go. And I remember, working at these companies, Microsoft, Washington Mutual, all great companies, right? With great people, but they would have, but again, the mindset is very different. So there, if you work for 5 years or 6 years, oh, you get an extra week of vacation. Oh, there's a carrot, right? And that's what my life was. But who made these rules? They did, not me. And one of my, I'm not sure if you, oh yeah, you can't see it. So that's one of my top goals and values as well, a life of freedom. I mean, this is worth nothing if I cannot create a life of freedom for myself. And that starts with, not just leaving the 9 to 5 behind, but leaving the 9 to 5 mindset behind. So I can't be trapped in that. If I stay trapped in that, I can't free myself. And if I cannot free myself, then I cannot fulfill my second goal, which is to help others get to this freedom. How would I ever be able to do that if I'm still chained to the old thinking, to the old mindset? So again, I wouldn't say I'm completely clear of this, but again, my coaches have helped me a big deal, and I'm committed to working in this. Did go on in this month. So for one thing, because I was feeling a little bit guilty about this, I called this a workcation. And if you saw some of my emails, and when I look back at that, announcing this, sharing this with others, it was coming from a place of guilt, and I was trying to justify myself. I was like, oh yeah, guys, I wouldn't be like really off. I would be kind of working. And of course, words have power, the words we think and the words we use. So it turned out to be a workcation. And frankly, I don't want it to be a workation. I ended up working quite a bit more than I'd imagined for this one. So again, my coach helped me with that, and we came up with the word creative retreat. And this is not unheard of. I mean, there are companies, top-notch companies. There's one company which I think every few years they shut down for a whole year. There's El Bulli, one of the top, or maybe considered by some the top restaurant in the world. It closes down for 6 months, and a lot of other examples are there. And of course, if you look at historically, these rules about kind of working all the time and stuff, they're pretty new. So it turned out more of a workcation, as I'd called it. So I ended up working more than I would have liked. I was focused on re-recording our Learn Power BI programs, but still there was enough creative retreat time as well that I was able to come up with some big shifts. And folks, again, I mean, when you leave the 9 to 5, you got to leave the 9 to 5 mindset, because your progress doesn't come from doesn't come from kind of working hard on that treadmill, right? Running as fast as you can. It doesn't work that way. In fact, what I've seen in my business is that your progress comes from these really small trajectory shifts, but they end up becoming huge, right? So I'll make this shift, and that will take me to a whole different trajectory. Now, when I was in corporate America, some years I had a good performance review, some years I didn't have such a great one. But frankly, my kind of raise was always in single digits, sometimes zero, sometimes even negative, and that's how that world works. But in business, when you control your own life, again, the life of freedom that I talk about, it's not unheard of for a business to double its revenue or more. It's possible, but it does not come from working hard. And again, you got to disconnect that notion of, time and money. They got to spend more time to earn more money. Well, how are you going to double your business? Are you going to work double the hours? Really? Well, good luck with that, my friend, right? So these shifts, and again, these feel really powerful. For one, they feel aligned with me where I want to go. And usually that's another thing that I've seen with my business, that if you stay in alignment with yourself, you get amazing results. So 100,000, and again, this is still a little bit scary, but it's good to do scary things. So where this started was that some of you know that I have a goal of hiking 100,000 feet this year, and that's a whole other story how I got started on that. I'm pretty new to hiking, and I kind of went for this crazy goal. And as to motivate myself, I said I'm going to donate to one of the charities that I believe in, Operation Smile, as I go along. For every 100 feet, I'm going to donate $1. So at the end of the year, I would have donated $1,000. But frankly, that felt so good. That felt so good. I'm like, I want to do more of this. And and again, it sounds crazy to me too, but I'm like, what if instead of donating $1,000, what if I donated $10,000? And could I donate $100,000 one day? That sounds insane. But you know what? I've set that goal. That's my goal. But I want it to be more than just about Operation Smile. I do believe in that, but I also believe in Power BI. I believe in Power BI being the tool, being the instrument, being my excuse to change people's lives. So I want to combine it. I want to set up a Power BI scholarship mentorship program. You've tried this before, but frankly, it hasn't quite stuck. Well, here we are again, and I think with a bigger vision. So, we'll just, and again, I always take the agile approach. We're going to try it, test it. So this is the first iteration of this. So 100,000, yeah, next year the goal is to donate $10,000 to Learn Power BI Scholarship Charity. We're going to take a baby step this time, and so that's coming in September. So if you are interested, again, for those who are kind of in that situation where they just need a little bit of help, kind of financially and otherwise, this will be there to support you. So we'll kick it off this year and really soon, September, this month, right? The Pioneer Program, I've had that vision for a long, long time, but it really crystallized in this creative retreat period. So what the idea behind the Pioneer is that I've seen that there are two paths that people take, and they're not as different as people think they are. So one is the entrepreneur, the freelancer, the consultant path, right? So, and I have been focused on that quite a bit. We have a specific program at the pro level for Power BI entrepreneurship journey, right? Whether you want to do it as a side gig or a full-time gig, a lot of that. And we have seen great success. But there is another path where these people are inside the companies and they want to lead this Power BI revolution within the organization. And one thing that I'm going to call out is that it has little to do with their title. I've seen CFOs and CEOs doing that, and I've seen people in call centers kind of leading this charge. So it has very little or nothing to do with the title. And Simon Sinek agrees with me there. He says, leadership has nothing to do with title, right? And, title gives you authority, right? So you can be a leader with or without a title. And if you think about it, I'm sure you know a lot of people with the fancy titles who are not leaders at all, who are not leading anybody anywhere. So this is the vision for that group who are working in a company and want to lead their organization, just transform it. And of course, we've seen examples of that, but can we create a program which nurtures them, supports them, kind of an incubator, just like we have for the Power BI freelancer? So again, I've had this idea for a long time, but it just came into crystal focus, and I'm pretty sure. So this is going to be coming in February next year. So January we launch the consulting, the entrepreneur route, and February we're going to launch this new program. And guess what? These two programs are going to work together because it makes sense. The last one, I'm still not sure. I think it's a very promising idea, but the idea here is that I do a lot of YouTube live, but we recently ran the Power BI conference, and it was amazing, and it felt in a way a little bit deeper. I felt like we had a chance to connect with the audience at a little bit deeper level, just because there was some commitment there. It's like, yep, I signed up, I'm going to show up. Versus YouTube seems like kind of like, oh yeah, I'll drop in for 5 minutes or something. So, and again, I love the YouTube crowd and I love hanging out with you. So we'll certainly keep doing that, but we might switch some events to at least private events. And one of the ones that we're thinking is one of my favorite, which is Real Power BI presentations. Those of you who know about it, if you don't know about it, just go to realpowerbi.com. It's a pretty awesome program where businesses can get free help from our Pro Plus students, and of course the Power BI entrepreneur students on that track, they get real work experience. So that's the idea behind that. So again, folks, I think this was amazing step, and again, it wasn't easy. I had to struggle with this a lot, but I'm committed to this. I'm committed to my goals of creating a life of freedom for myself and creating a life of freedom and helping others create the same. So I'll see you around the Power On Now channel as I go on this journey. Power on.